This is music, and this is all about those 7 inches. I gotta be honest, I don't really collect 7-inch vinyl, but if I come across one and it looks interesting, I'll pick it up. If I don't like it, I'll pass it on to someone who will like it. So I have a very small collection of 7-inch vinyl. On average, you will see more 7-inch vinyl in a typical Scott Waters video than in my entire collection. But I figured it would be fun to go through my entire collection of standalone 7-inch vinyl. I also have a handful of 7-inch vinyl that came with, albums as kind of bonus material. That's going to be for another video. In this video, we'll go through the standalone 7-inch vinyl I have in my collection. And some of the ones that I'll show you now will make some appearances later on in haul and update videos. Up first, Amazon, You Can't Run Out. The logo looks very thrashy, but this is very melodic hard rock bordering on AOR. It's a Danish band. Very catchy, very enjoyable. I don't remember the label that they're on. Maybe it's self-released, I don't remember. But if you like your kind of frontiers music releases, I think you'll like this one too. It's kind of in that wheelhouse. Another logo that looks very thrashy, Attack. This is Kompakte Mannen, backed with Jag vill inte ner I källaren. This is not thrash metal, it's classic rock with a foot in punk rock in that camp, and with a foot in the hard rock camp. They sing in Swedish. They got a woman singing, and I think there's another woman in the band that does backing vocals, but I could be misremembering. This is a kind of raw and rough around the edges, which is why I consider it to be kind of punky. But it's more rock than it's metal, and I would say it's even more classic rock than it's hard rock, but it's still pretty good stuff. I enjoy listening to it. The next one, Awakening. I can't remember what this is. I've only listened to it once. I remember liking it, so I'll give this a spin probably later on today or something. I think it's Death Doom, but I could be misremembering. Awesome cover art though. The next one is Brain Implosion, Sand Grains. I love this cover art. I love the rendering of these letters. And I also like that they've been very, very reader friendly. And if you can't read their logo, they've written it in normal letters too. This is death thrash, and it's good stuff. Up next, something completely different. 80s Eurovision new wave pop rock, Brex video pop song from the 80s, pop rock song I would say from the 80s. Super catchy. It's backed with a song called I Wanna Dance Med Dig. I've never heard that song. I'm in this for video. I should probably listen to the other song at some point. The next one is a bit of a cheat. Enslaved, Axioma, Ethica Odini. This is actually the entire album on CD, but it came with a bonus 7-inch. So this is a bit of a cheat. This would actually fall under the other category of 7 inches that I said I wouldn't show. Whatever. I love this entire album and the songs on the 7-inch as well. I know there are people out there complaining that it's not true black metal. It's black metal. It's progressive rock. It's combined. It works. I love it. I don't care what you say. Haha. Good stuff. Up next, this one is annoying. The music is not annoying. It's Entrapment. Crawling Morbidity, death metal, although it looks very crossovery. But what's annoying about this is that the jacket is just a couple of millimeters too big to fit into a 7-inch outer sleeve. So I actually keep this in a 12-inch sleeve that I have folded up, because I like I like storing my 7-inch the way I store my 12-inch vinyl. Anyways, the next one is Chaos and Technocracy, and this one is called Abstract Reflections. I was under the impression that this would be death metal when I picked it up, but it's actually kind of crossover thrash, female fronted, and the lady who sings, I don't know how to describe her voice. It's very unusual compared to, you know, your typical kind of thrash metal vocalist. The music and the production comes across a bit sloppy, but that just adds to the charm, I think. So yeah, I was kind of in a way positively surprised when I heard this, although I expected death metal and I love death metal too. The next one will offend some people. It's just a joke, I think. Heavy metal humor, crossbow, priest killer. Or is it a joke? I'm just joking. Anyways, traditional heavy metal, but much more rough around the edges, and I guess kind of maybe more Motorhead inspired than your typical new wave of traditional heavy metal today. So if you expect a more kind of polished sound, I don't mean this negatively, but the more kind of polished sound of contemporary new wave of traditional heavy metal, this one might be a bit too dirty. But I really like it. You know, I like the morbid humor, and I like how, I mean, they've deliberately, I think, made it a bit rough around the edges. So there you go. Up next, Crusher, crossover thrash, fun stuff, good stuff as well. So there you go. Some more crossover. Erosion, Gunman. Erosion is a great thrash metal band. Seriously, if you are a thrash metal fan and you haven't heard Erosion, check him out. You might like him. This is crossover thrash. Some great songs on here. This one is out on We Bite Records, a label that has specialized in hardcore punk and hardcore punk adjacent music, including crossover thrash and straight up thrash. Up next, Radioactive by The Firm. Tasty hard rock. The songs on here are a bit more to the, I guess, leaning towards the softer side of this band, but that's okay. I enjoy listening to them every now and then. The next one was one I found in the wild, in bad shape. I mean, let's face it, people treat 7-inch vinyl like garbage. I try not to do that. That's why I kind of keep them in, you know, outer sleeves and inner sleeves and all that stuff. Anyways, Geordie, Goodbye Love. This is Brian Johnson's band before he was in AC/DC. So AC/DC is one of my favorite bands. So already there, you know, interesting. And I haven't heard a whole lot of Geordie, but what I've heard, I like. So I decided to, you know, just grab this one, and I think it's pretty good too. Geordie's sound was classic rock, hard rock, and a lot of the songs to me sound like they had like some southern rock going on as well. So very good stuff. Up next, Girls School 1 2 3 4, Rock and Roll. And there's a version of Tush on here as well. You know, 80s heavy metal hard rock by a legendary band. They were known for being one of the few bands where they were all ladies back in, you know, heavy metal bands back in the early 80s. Maybe they were even active in the late 70s too. I actually don't know, but great stuff on here. Kind of, I would say, rough and dirty around the edges a little bit too. So, very glad to have picked this one up. Up next, Secrets at the Steam Forest by Glacial Fear. You might expect this to be doom metal. I would say it's death thrash, and it's very good stuff as well. The next one, Breakdance by Irene Cara. This is pure nostalgia. I grew up with 80s pop and 80s rock and breakdance and all the stuff you see in Stranger Things, apart from all the supernatural stuff. Yeah, and I was one of the breakdance kids back in the early 80s. and we would listen to this one and breakdance to it, and I think it's a good song. Although 80s pop was still an industry, it was still all about the money, I still think it was objectively better than post 1995-ish pop music, because it seems like back in the 80s they still kind of treated the pop song as some kind of piece of art. Anyways, Flight of Icarus, Iron Maiden, my favorite band, awesome cover art. This is one of their kind of slower and heavier songs from back in their first golden era. And this is one of those cases where I was buying something else online and I saw, oh, they have this one, I'll grab it. It's my favorite band. And sometimes I feel like just listening to that song. I know I could stream it. I just think it's more fun to listen to a record or a cassette tape or CD than stream it. Anyways, Jurassic Jade, a Cradle song, Japanese speed metal, thrash metal, heavy metal, traditional, somewhere in between those genres. Kind of theatrical too. Great stuff. I would say if you're a thrash metal or speed metal fan, check this one out. There's a chance you will like it. Up next, MVD, Stagnation of Thinking. Crossover thrash, leaning more towards the hardcore aesthetic. So it's you got like 7 songs on here. They're really short, aggressive. The vocals, just an angry dude shouting. I mean, that's what you want from hardcore punky stuff. Well, I don't know if that's what you want, but it's a good part of it. Something completely different. Musical Youth, Past the Duchy, 80s reggae, and this is another song I grew up with, and I think it's a good song. It's a cover song actually of an older reggae song, and the original song is about, I don't know, smoking weed or something, and these are just kids, so they turned it into a song about food. Yeah, I still like this song today. Up next, Shining Dawn by Offense or Offense. Death Doom, awesome cover artwork. This is 90s Death Doom as far as I remember. This is from the 90s, and it just sounds like 90s Death Doom. So if you like 90s Death Doom, you know, and you come across a copy of this one, I think it's worth picking up. Up next, Propagator, self-titled, and this is your anti-poser thrash metal, I would say. Personally, all the, you know, death to false metal, wimps and posers, true metal, all that stuff, I don't care about that. But I have to say that I do find the anti-poser and anti-glam metal thrash songs, and also within other genres, I do find them kind of hilarious. And I'm not anti-glam metal myself. But the music is great. It's great thrash metal. Up next, Radiation Sickness, Bounds of Reality. Crossover thrash with some hints of death thrash, I would say. Great stuff, actually. Very dirty, very aggressive. But if you like crossover thrash, and you know, all this kind of like nuclear fear, 80s crossover thrash, early 90s crossover stuff too, check Radiation Sickness out. Good stuff. Up next, Reflection, Sire of the Storm, traditional heavy metal, awesome piece of cover artwork there too, right? As you have noticed probably, so far I've only shown picture sleeve 7-inch. I don't really have an interest in 7-inch that don't come in picture sleeves, because I'm not a 7-inch collector. There will be one, I think, that you can argue is one of those, but up first, Significant Point, Attacker. You got the description right here. Homemade hype sticker from Mephisto. Fast heavy metal from Japan. Yeah, Significant Point, traditional heavy metal. They are a bit speedy every now and then for sure, and it's great stuff. If you like trad metal, check out Significant Point. And from, I guess, kind of new wave of trad metal to old wave of trad metal, new wave of British heavy metal though, Tank. This is He Fell in Love with a Stormtrooper. This is a Spanish pressing, because you got the title in Spanish down there. Yeah, it's a very, very good song. Tank, great band. At some point there were 2 Tank bands. That was a bit confusing, but a great new wave of British heavy metal band. A bit underrated, or maybe obscured by some of the larger ones, but by no means worse, if you know what I mean. So if you come across one of these old Tank releases and you like just heavy metal, pick it up. I think you will like it. Up next, Tarot, and this one is called Where Man Becomes All. That's also traditional heavy metal. This one was given to me very kindly by Jürgen Aumann himself, so that's great. Very good songs on here too, definitely recommendable. So this is technically not a picture sleeve, but in a way it is, because it's just kind of made to look like the old non-picture sleeve jukebox records. This is Tommy and the Rockets, the hottest store in town. I keep the disc right here, kind of behind the jacket. That's just how I do it. And look, I'm gonna break it now. No, it's a flexi disc. This is kind of rock and roll, rockabilly. And you have like one rock and roll song on here, and then you have a bunch of jingles, because it's really like, you know, I was given this when I was in the Record Pusher, because it's kind of like promotion for the Record Pusher record store. It's a good fun. Another one that was given to me by Jürgen Aumann, Undergang. This is crossover thrash, hardcore punk, and grindcore, all mixed up. So although it's a 7-inch, you have like enough songs on here that you would have on a full-length album. And you know, it's your zombie apocalypse crossover stuff. A fun detail is that you have a Devo zombie right here, and you have Suicidal Tendencies zombie right here. Angry, aggressive, short songs. I think it's side B, which is a bit more grindcore, and side A is a bit more hardcore crossover, or maybe it's the other way around. I can't remember, but it's good stuff. Up next, Witch's Hammer. This is speed metal. They even have the speed metal logo on the inner ring label there. Yeah, speed metal. A bit more of the dirty kind of speed metal though, but that's fine. I like this. It's good stuff. Up next, also a speed metal band, Xandril, but on this one, Demo 2 from 1983, they were a traditional heavy metal band. They had a dude singing here. Then later on, they hired a lady to do the vocals, and they made their music a bit more speed metal-y. So they are typically viewed as a speed metal band, but this is traditional heavy metal. This is a reissue, by the way. And you also have Demo 1, 83 by Xandril. Same style, same lineup, I think, too. And these two here, by the way, that's just, I guess it's kind of a bonus info. These two here are included on this box set, where you also have their speed metal stuff with the lady doing the vocals. So so there you go. Good stuff, actually. Up next, this is a split. Sodomizer and Farscape. The Horror Can't Stop. They're both speed metal. Maybe bordering on black and... No, not speed metal, sorry. Thrash metal. Maybe bordering on black and thrash metal. Very good stuff, though. Enjoyable. Up next, Anglican Scrape Attic. This is another flexi disc. This is a split between 4 bands. Hyrax is on here. And then you have some Japanese speed and thrash metal bands as well. Very good stuff. Glad to have this one. Up next, this one is Tungt Svensk, heavy Swedish music, and this is a 2-disc kind of compilation of mainly sludge and alternative metal bands from Sweden. It is heavy though, so there you go. Very good stuff for sure. And up last, compilation slash split as well. This is called Thrash Sanctuary. So you basically have a 4-way split. All of these are Japanese thrash metal bands. It says Japanese thrash metal sampler EP. So there you go. Yeah. So that was my entire standalone 7-inch collection. Only around 20 minutes. So not much, not super impressive, but I like the things I have. Thanks for watching.